Hey guys and girls, this is Twist with YYC Designs Custom RC Creations, and we are forging, yes, forging a couple of tow hooks for Dorothy's new front bumper. So whether you are working with a piece of steel which is a 1/8 solid rod in this case, or it could be a 2-inch thick steel rod, solid steel rod, of course. The theory is the same. You need to heat it up and you need to use some sort of device to hammer it into the shape you want it. In this case, I'm using a 1/2 pound bumping hammer with a flat face on one side and a bit of a peening face on the other side. It's an auto body hammer. Normally I use my big anvil and anywhere from a 3.5 pound all the way up to 25 pound hammers. But since this is only 1/8 inch thick steel rod, and it's mild steel by the way, I'm just using the small anvil on my vise, my torch to heat it instead of my forge, and my bumping hammer, because that's all I need on such small steel. But like I said, the theory is the same. Here I am starting to bend the hook into it, and you never want to bend cold. As you notice there, it's getting a little bit red, it's cooling down. I'm just sizing the vise and then I reheat before I continue the bend. You never want to try to bend or hammer steel that is cooled too far down to where you lose the color in it, because then you start to form cracks and fissures in it, which will of course allow oxidation, if I could talk today, oxidation to get in there, and your piece will fail. It will fail no matter how strong, how big the steel you're working with is. I guarantee it will fail, because those cracks and fissures will oxidize and split, and your piece will crack open, much like a piece of ice cracking. So anyway, I'm just doing the second one, forming the hook in there, doing a little bit of hammer work on it, as well as using the vise. The quick way is use the vise to make the main part of the curve just to get it started, and then the hammer fine tunes the curve down to the size I want. Now the steel in this case is being heated up to about 12 to 1400 degrees. It is not a molten state yet. However, it is about the consistency of a piece of licorice, a piece of fresh licorice, not a piece of stale licorice. And it forms very easily without cracking. Afterwards, it is being dunked in used diesel oil or tooling oil that I use for blade smithing and my forging work to harden the piece and temper it. Now, I didn't go through all the tempering process of heating it back up to 800 degrees, letting it cool naturally, heating it again, and then tempering it, because it is, after all, just a 1/10 scale model piece. It's not going to see that kind of stress where I need to worry about the long 3.5 to 8 hour process of tempering the steel. I just quickly dunked it in the oil, and I didn't leave it there too long, but I gave it a little swish around so that it actually cooled probably about 3/4 of what it was, down to maybe around 150 to 200 degrees, and it'll cool while I still work with it. I'm just fixing to get ready to grind it. Now, it is cool enough to hand touch at this point, so I can mount it in the vise, and I'm just going to use my little 4-inch angle grinder, and it's a nice little grinder and allows me to put a little bit of shape into this hook so that it looks proper instead of a bulky hook. It will be a nice rounded defined edge, which I will show you here pretty soon. I did this forging video because I was asked to do a little bit of forging. I really didn't have a project for the big forge, so I figured this was a perfect opportunity to at least show you how it's done, if not give you a real in-depth video, which I will do an in-depth forging video here in the near future, probably this summer sometime, if not a little bit earlier. Just a lot going on in the shop project wise, so forging isn't in the cards for this month, and quite likely not for May either. So it'll probably be either very late May, June, July, something like that, and we'll forge a really big piece for you. So here I'm getting them all shaped up and getting them cleaned up and ready to weld on the corners of the bumper. And so I will just basically let the video carry on and you can watch it for yourself. I did, however, forget to mention that while I'm on the topic of forging or Dorothy, if you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, please feel free to jot it down in the comments section below. I do respond to them all within about 48 hours max. So please, yeah, if you got any comments or anything like that, throw them in the comments section below. I appreciate every comment I get, and it's just great to have you guys share the journey with me. Okay, so just finished up the grinding on this one here, and as you can see, it's got that nice hook shape to it. I've got to do a little bit more cleaning up, but that'll be with the file and doing it by hand. And there's the little welding tab, so I can weld it on the bottom of the bumper. Not trying to show off my bling here, just trying to get a focus on this thing a little better for you. So yeah, I'll clean up that inner hook and make it look a lot nicer, but that will be done by a hand file, as it is done with all of our pieces, because I want them extremely accurate. So yeah, I'll get her all welded on, and once it's welded on, I'll get her cleaned up, and then we'll get a nicer look at them, and we'll show you what they look like. But they are cool pieces, and we do a lot of these kinds of things. I can make any piece that you may desire for your model, so please feel free to drop us a line if you want to commission us to do a piece for you as well. So just getting ready to do, if I could talk, just getting ready to do the second piece here. We'll clean her up a little bit and get her ready for welding onto the bumper. I had a little issue with this one though. Had to do a reheat on it and do a little fixing. So it just wasn't curled over quite as much as the other one. It wasn't identical. Of course, I want them both looking the same and accurate. So yeah, just doing a little reheating here and a little readjustment, and then I'll finalize the cleanup on it and get it ready for welding. Since y'all have seen me do quite a bit of welding, I figured I'd speed up this section. I did mark the bumper where I wanted the tabs put on, so we're just going to line these up and get ready to blast them on with the oxyacetylene torch. And like I say, you've seen me all do a bunch of welding, so I did speed this section up. However, the one thing you will see me do here is lay that little bit of welding rod on and then attach my welding rods. Welding rods can be expensive, and I don't like wastage, so I tack on the little bits that are too short to hold on by hand. I tack them onto a new section of rod and continue on. Not a big deal, but it is a little bit of a money saver out there, or a little bit of a money saver for those of y'all out there that are frugal like I am and don't like wasting your materials. Just a little tip for you. So there you have it, guys and girls. There is a little bit of forging on Dorothy, which is my Red Cat Everest Gen 7 Sport that I got for this Christmas. Actually, this past Christmas I just got her. Been having a lot of fun with her, but I do want to change the body and a lot of the plastic stuff out because, as y'all know, I have an aversion to the plastic stuff. So I'm going to change it all out to metal. And yeah, next thing's going to be probably the rear bumper on her after I get the front bumper finalized. Have a couple more pieces I'm going to put on there. And then weld the supports on so that she can bolt on to Dorothy herself. And I'm also going to try and make it so that I can make it a very quick switch out between that front bumper or leave that front bumper there and attach the snowplow that we have for Dorothy right onto the front without having to go through all the switching around and taking stuff apart and lights and all that jazz. See how it goes. I don't know. I might have to just turn around and suck it up and take the front bumper off to mount her snowplow anyway. You guys know how it is. Y'all are into the hobby too. So challenges, hey? And today is May 12th, and we just got another 4 inches of snow outside. So winter is definitely not letting go. So the snowplow might come in handy yet this year. I hope not. I don't mind rain. At least I don't have to shovel rain, but maybe I can make the plowing next year a little more fun and have Dorothy out there and let her do the plowing for me. So anyway, next video coming up here will probably be Miss Voodoo or another segment on Miss Voodoo as well. We have Ubi, we have London Calling, I have Miss Moose. Both of those are our wreckers. I have the double cabin cruiser projects. And we also have, there's another one I'm missing. I know there is, but for the sake of brevity, we will just tell you that we got a lot of projects on the go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and comment below. And again, I am Twist with YYC Designz, Custom RC Creations, and we will catch you in the next segment. Take care.